Here are the things that you can do to take control of your mind, because if you take care of your body and then you don't take care of your mind and emotions, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. What sparked that question was something you said. You said that you start your morning by jumping in the cold.
That's right.
And you never feel like doing it. And you said that I just say to my body, it's time to go.
That's right.
And that's what sparked the question, because I was like, that's a really interesting skill that
Yes.
you've trained yourself to be okay with discomfort. You're training yourself as your first skill of the day is, I am okay with uncomfortable things, and I know I can get through them.
Yes.
And that to me is what sounds like a really important part of emotional fitness.
It is, because unless you can push through discomfort, most things that are going to give you the greatest reward require discomfort initially.
Yeah.
Right? And the discomfort, it's like, my original teacher, Jim Rohn, used to always say, there's two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. He goes, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. And
Yeah,
so
well said.
I've trained myself to do that. Then I meditate. Then I always make an acknowledgement call briefly, or leave a voicemail for someone just because to spark the day. And then I do the first thing I do is always whatever is the most difficult.
Yes.
Because then you have momentum for your day. And when you train your brain to do what's difficult first, then emotional fitness just comes naturally. And more importantly, so does achievement, so does your ability to contribute to other people. Because I have 105 companies now, to give you an idea. I manage 13 of them directly, ongoingly. And there are all kinds of different industries, from AI to my resorts in Fiji to sports teams I own. And I mean, it's insane, the dichotomy of them. We're doing $7 billion in business, so I gotta do that while I'm being a good dad to 5 kids and 5 grandkids, while I'm taking care of my body, while I'm living my normal mission. So if I don't take care of my body and my energy and my mind, I mean, you'd be overwhelmed by all the demands, because listen, all I gotta do is pick up my phone and you're gonna have all kinds of, oh, that's cool, that's it. Because what are the chances with thousands of employees on 3-4 different continents now that somebody's messing up? If messing up is not what I think they should be doing, it's 100%. So I'd always be in reaction until I trained my brain to say, no, problems are a sign of life and all they are challenges to be solved.
Let me give you my definition of a breakthrough. It's a moment in time when everything changes, when what seemed impossible becomes truly possible, and most importantly, you act on it. It's not just a thought, you do something with it. If we want to have a breakthrough, and the answer is it can be triggered by all kinds of things. It can be triggered by a conversation with a friend. It can be triggered by loss. It could come from having a new experience. I can think of some times in my life where I didn't even think was possible, and then I got around people who are living life so much better than I was, and I saw what was possible, and it triggered me to start to think what's possible, started me on transformation towards a breakthrough. A new challenge can make you break through because it's so difficult, you have to break through. A new emotion can break you through. It can be pissed off or excited.
But when I got to serving people, that disappeared. It wasn't like I wasn't competing with anybody, I was competing with what I was capable of. And I'd read so many autobiographies, and I remember Dr. J saying, in fact, when I met Jordan years later, I asked him, what is it that's made you the best in the world? Is it God-given talent? Is it skill? Is it ability? Is it what is it? And he was cool. He said, listen, so I don't have fame, anything with you. It's like, I got a lot of God-given talent. But he told me about when he was in high school and the coach cut him because he said, you're not the best player because you're not maximizing your abilities, right?
10th grade.
And he said, so now I don't compete with anyone. I compete with the best I can be. Every day, my goal is to find a way to do more than I've ever done before within me. I'm not competing with anybody else. And I called him, I said, that was Dr. J's philosophy. And I'll never forget his face. He goes, you know that? Because I read his autobiography. So early on.
Like Julius Erving, Dr. J.
Yeah, Julius Erving.
Got it, yeah.
And he was, he was the champion at his stage of life, right? So from
he was
early
a Michael
on,
before Michael.
Yeah, so from early on, it's like I'm competing with the next level of who I am. I'm not competing with anybody else. There's nobody to compete with.
When I did Money Master the Game, I interviewed these billionaires, one after another, 50 of them, all self-made. So it wasn't people that were spoiled or somebody just gave them what they had. But there are probably 4 of them, it's just my judgment, I could be wrong, that are really happy people. And they have everything they could have ever dreamed with times 10 or 20 or 100 or 1,000. And so the secret really, you've heard us talk before about beautiful state.
When you get in certain states, you think one thought. When you get in other states, you think another thought. It's like turning the channel. And so what I really show people in the book how to do is how to turn the channel so that you're not suffering and you're living in a beautiful state.
Because there isn't anything more important. And because the times we're in, it's even more important. Good times make weak people. Weak people make tough times. Tough times make strong people, and strong people make good time. But you got to be strong internally so you can enjoy yourself. Could you enjoy yourself in the middle of winter? Me for years talking about prepare, winter's coming. Well, winter's here, but we're not through it. And the worst part, the more challenging parts of winter still are coming. And this season called winter, we all experience it. You've had winters in your emotions, you have winters in your relationships, but this type of external winter is much more intense externally, which means if you don't manage the inside, it's going to be a rough road. But if you manage the inside, it could be the most beautiful time of your life. So I'm not here to say, be happy, just positive thinking. I'm here to say this is not only a survival, but a thriving tool. This is the tool this week you want to really envelop yourself. This is the time to recharge, to re-engineer yourself. Because if you think about it, if you and I are going to run a race, you're going to go like a Baja race. They go 1,000 miles across the desert, and you take your beautiful Mercedes to do that. It ain't going to work. Mercedes is an expensive car. It's a beautiful car. It's a well-made car. It'll be destroyed in that race. You will not finish the race. You have to have it be adapted, re-engineered to go 1,000 miles in the desert. There's 3 decisions we make every moment of our lives. The first decision we're making is what are we going to focus on? Right now, there's millions of things we could focus on. People listening could be focused on what they're doing, what we're saying, whether it matters or not, a million things, right? But we only focus on a small band of things, and whatever we focus on, we experience in life. And so the first decision, what to focus on, I know what he focused on. He focused on that he had not fed his family because he kept saying it. But then the second decision you make, as soon as you focus on something, is you give it a meaning. Is this the end of the beginning? If you think it's the end of a relationship, you're going to behave very different than the beginning. Is this person dissing me? Are they challenging me? Are they coaching me? Or are they actually loving me? Whatever meaning you create produces emotion, and those emotions control your third decision, which is, what are you going to do? And I tell you that because he focused on didn't feed his family. The worst part was the meaning. The meaning for him was, I'm worthless, and he decided to leave our family. That day, I had a very different experience. I focused on there was food, what a concept. But then secondly, the meaning is what changed my life. It's why I'm sitting here right now. The meaning I got was, wow, strangers care. My father always said, we grew up in an environment on the other side of the tracks, quite literally. And, I thought it was a wealthy community. It was a lower middle class community, but compared to us, they were wealthy. And my dad would always say, no one cares. And it's like, I had evidence that someone cared so much and they didn't even want credit. He fed my family. And so it's like, if strangers care about me and my family, I'm going to care about strangers. And I made a decision right then at 11 years old, I'm going to feed people when I get older. And so when I was 17, I fed 2 families and it was so emotionally rewarding. And then I went to 4 and 8 and I got to 1 million. And I got to 4 million, 2 million from my foundation, 2 million from me. And then in the last 10 years, about 8 years or 10 years ago I started, it took me 8 years. I said, I'm going to provide 1 billion meals here in the United States. And we did that in 8 years, I'm proud to be. 100 million meals a year. I did it through Feeding America as my partner. And so I decided, I met with the head of the food program for the UN. So he and I joined together and created 100 billion meals. They said, how many do we need to bridge the gap? I said about 70 billion. So let's do 100 billion meals in 10 years. I did 1 billion. I wasn't a billionaire when I started. I said, so I've grown obviously to make that happen. But all we need is 99 people like me and we can do this, right? And so we went out to do it and we announced a few days ago, we hit 30 billion meals already in the first 2 years. Most people thought it would be totally impossible. So we're gonna make that happen. But here's what I wanted you to get. If I was a well-fed child, do you think I'd be working this hard?